Hey guys, what's going on? Flawless Crested Geckos here. Will, Audra.
Hi.
Coming to you guys with another video this week. And we are yet again, for 2 weeks in a row, fresh back from vending a great show.
The All-American Reptile and Plant Expo.
There you go. And this is going to be a review from our perspective of the show. And, you know, we had a blast. I mean, that's a great summary of the entire weekend. We are quite tired, but I mean, the show must kind of go on.
We're kind of old, and it's been 2 weekends in a row now.
No, you're
very old.
You're definitely old.
Listen, y'all. Yesterday I came in, and this man is sacked completely out, looking like somebody's auntie, all wrapped up in covers in the bed.
It was a long day. We got back and everything, and then we had to feed and clean. It was a lot of stuff to do, and got it done, and I was done. But,
I mean, done. He wakes up at 11 o'clock after his 5-hour nap.
And
he's
I was
like,
done for the night.
He's
I gotta
like,
get something to eat.
Yeah, he's looking around like, you know how you wake up from naps sometimes and you're trying to figure out what year it is, who you are,
Whatever.
That's how he looked. I was like, you might as well just lay back down because it's not nighttime now.
So, as everyone should know, if you don't know, Troy from Best Dressed Balls, as well as Nick Sloan from Sloan Reptiles, got together and they are throwing a huge show across kind of the United States. They have quite a few venues already. I believe they've even done Colorado twice already now, I believe. And actually a few other little locations, and they're thinking about expanding even bigger.
Yes.
So this was the first time of them having it in Charlotte. I think it was promoted extremely well.
I think so too. I mean, I think really, I think they have worked as hard as Bob had, and from the last show, they both shows the last weekend, which was the southeast,
Right, Reptile.
and this one from All American. It just was both of them, both parties really went out there and really put the work in.
Definitely.
But I think that, and I don't know from previous experience, I know with the other shows in general, I know that a lot of the promoters that put those shows on, that particular person wasn't actually a vendor in the here and now. So Troy, Nick, these people understand what it takes.
What are some of the wants and needs?
Yes, Bob
essentials
understands, for
vendors and breeders.
Yeah, and I think that makes a huge difference. Like Troy with Best Dressed Balls, and I've seen him a blue zillion times at different shows, vending himself, and then Bob's Balls, everybody knows he vends shows. So I think there just definitely is a difference in a vendor's point of view versus a showrunner only point of view.
And you can actually see kind of the camaraderie as well, because at Bob's show, you saw Nick as well as Troy, and here it is at Troy and Nick's show. Bob was vending that show as well. If you think about it, I guess the locations, the regions are kind of like
5 hours apart.
5 hours apart. So it's kind of still in the same region, kind of pushing a little bit of the pushing the limitations a little bit on that. But we still seen maybe half the amount of vendors from Bob's show vended this show as well, which is a plus, because you have vendors that is reaching, and new vendors coming in and vending this show that wasn't at Bob's show. So that was really cool as well. From our perspective, we took a ton of geckos out like we normally do. We had quite a good support system and following who came out for pictures and got in videos and came by to say hi. Some of them on the brink of tears, which was kind of interesting.
So sweet.
We really appreciate all you guys for watching our content. We really want to be a staple in the community when people reference the business side as well as being personable. We want to be able to be down to earth and be able to give it to you straight and give you tons of educational and information.
Yep. Informational information.
Content is what I mean. Yes. Informational content. As you guys can see, I'm tired. Yeah. So along those lines, another plus on this show was, again, I didn't necessarily see the knick-knack fees. Actually, I know myself personally, I saw Troy battling with the venue because they wanted to charge the vendors parking. And apparently the promoters have no control over that at the venue. But where the venue kind of screwed themselves, and again, that's not the brand All-American Reptile and Plant Expo, that's more so the
Park Expo in Charlotte.
Park Expo. They didn't have it in their contract where they were going to charge the vendors and breeders, only the customers. So there was a completely separate entrance, the dock area where the breeders pulled up to park, and Nick and Troy won that battle. Yep. So the vendors did not have to pay for parking. Actually, we paid for parking, and then actually the nice lady, she actually came up and gave us our money back.
Yeah, she was like, I pulled back out because I let him. Well, I will tell y'all, I had drank way too much, and I was like knocking on the doors trying to get to the bathroom because
old.
No, it's
bladder
just,
shot.
I'm talking like I probably was like a gallon in.
Need to tune up. Oil change.
You need an oil change, sir. Good old creaky thing. Need some WD-40 in them joints. Anyway, that being said, I came back out, let him. He's sitting here unloading crap. I'm like, really, dude? Like, and I said, this ain't it.
And it should have been, because I should have just went straight in. It would have been easier.
I know, it would have been easier. But anyway, that being said, like he put everything back in, and I went back out the same way I came in, and she said, wait a minute. She's like, you're a vendor. She said, you're supposed to be at the loading dock. I said, yeah, I just figured that out. I got to go back around. And she said, here, let me give you your $10 back. Yeah. She said, it doesn't matter who you are as far as vendor or, anybody that, I think VIP paid, when they paid for theirs, they got, their parking was included in their VIP ticket. But they're like, if you're a vendor or just a regular show goer, you have to pay $10 to park in this lot. So that was something.
So that was nice that they won that battle. Vendors didn't have to pay for parking. The setup was super easy. It was very, very streamlined. Everything was pretty much set up waiting for us. Our neighboring vendors, one of them, it was their second show. Really nice guy. We kind of networked with them, and we're going to have some future things kind of going on as far as business development.
Absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely.
Green tree pythons. Holy moly.
Our other vendor on the other opposite side of
Mortal
us.
Coil.
Yes, really cool guy. We've actually met him while we've attended local shows in South Carolina, and he's a really cool, interesting guy because he's not working with anything mainstream. It's more of obscure snakes, colubrids.
Very obscure.
Even a few boas. It was really interesting talking with him because
he did have a beautiful IMG.
Yes, and it was not for sale. His model almost modeled our business model to a certain extent, and he's kind of in the middle of kind of developing more for marketing purposes. And that's what we spoke about in detail as the show continued. Maybe we'll go over that in a whole separate video.
Yeah, we should.
That'll be really detailed. So we'll revisit that. But overall, we had an extremely busy weekend. Extremely busy. More on Troy and Nick during setup on Friday. They actually, think about it. They ordered everyone pizza and beer.
Yes, they did.
Everyone. We didn't stay.
Because we had to rush back.
Tight schedule. But I thought that was amazing. Literally feeding all your vendors that came out to your event. That was awesome. To me, it also promotes networking. And, you know, everyone's sitting together, eating and drinking, having conversation. Maybe you'll, you know, communicate with someone that you have yet to
meet. Or actually you might have passed them in show setups at different places.
Because there's a lot of hustle and bustle in setup. I mean, you guys you've been following us for a while. You've seen little, you know, spots here and there of us setting up for a show, and you may see me in a t-shirt with, it looks two-toned, but it's not.
Because he's sweating.
Because it's all sweat.
His sweat is funny. His back, it looks like a heart when he sweats.
And you're sweating your behind off because you're wanting everything perfect and you're trying to fight with the time.
Yeah.
And
I'm so OCD, like the display cases and stuff. Like, I'm trying to get every little nook and cranny.
And that's a whole nother video. We need to get into that as well, because I'm always, you know, cussing out Bob. Because I'm like, man, I hate you. And I'll tell him
he comes in.
He'll come in 30 minutes. Everything is set up.
It's like he presses a button and it just falls out.
I'm like, this is insane. But again, he's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for years as well, but we do it a little different. So we're always trying to figure out a new way to add to what we have, to make the experience better for the customers coming out. What's different between ordering online from us versus seeing us in person, coming out into your region, the promotional side of things, which again, that's going to be the bulk of this video. Now we're going to get into it. With the show itself, I think it was promoted extremely well. You know, I actually was talking.
I think 7,500 people came through the door.
Right. And that, I mean, obviously that's awesome for ticket sales, but I do, and it's a personal opinion of ours, I don't think that us as breeders in the industry are truly understanding what's happening right now. With the economy, you know, with the adjustment in the market, we have seen sales rising up, but to add on to that, we're seeing a lot of new people entering.
Brand spanking
new people
like never had a Reptile before.
And that's awesome, because these are the customers that were coming through the door. We made a ton of sales, but at the same time there was a lot of education going on. People didn't know, which is always, I guess we're on top of that. We're so used to people coming up and they're like, oh, snake breeder. What are those? You know, so then we go into the full explanation, and then you guys would not understand how much business gets drawn and attention gets drawn our way because of our approach. You know, maybe somebody wasn't even looking for a lizard or a crested gecko, and they're like, wow, look at the display, look at the jewels, what are those? Like, what? And then it just snowballs, and next thing you know, you're talking to someone for 30 minutes.
I know.
And I can't tell you, we went through probably our entire box of business cards and
we went through all our stickers.
Yeah, we were, you know, giving stickers to the kids, you know, talking with the kids and explaining all the different features and things that's going on our table.
It was funny because the amount of children that came through there was unreal, and that's like leading off to what he's talking about is, we're seeing such a massive growth in the industry. People don't understand that the real benefit of having these new people walk through the door. You may not garner a sale right then. Right. Okay.
They trickle in over the weeks.
Yes.
Matt, not to cut you off, babe, but
hey guys, Flawless Crested Geckos here, Will and Audra.
And we're here to tell you guys about our new Patreon tier. Have you guys ever played the lottery, lose, and get all your money back?
That's not really a thing, is it? Oh, but yes it is. With our new tier, the $100 a month, you get every single bit of your money back for the entire year. But guess what? It doesn't end at the end of the year. Right. No, you have rollover. So you can continue to build your savings account as much as you would like.
Right.
But guess what? That's not all.
That's right.
You also is the biggest perk?
Are automatically entered for our annual free Exantic giveaway. Visual Exantic.
A free visual Exantic. Oh my gosh. Who does that? We do.
That's right. So you guys are going to want to go over to patreon.com/Flawless Crested Geckos and check us out.
Join the Flawless family.
Not to cut you off, babe, but while it's fresh in my head, we just did 2 shows back to back. We've also had sales trickle down between the shows from people from the first show that didn't necessarily purchase from us there. Purchase from us via Instagram or email and all our other accessories as well in between vending this show. So trying to keep track of everything has been, we're jotting everything in notes and everything else to keep up. on top of that, shipping today.
Yes.
But continue on.
Oh, you just interrupted me.
I'm sorry.
He does this. I'm used to it.
So where we at? So as far as the sales go with this level of a show, first time in this location, first time being thrown there and being promoted there by them, I can't tell you projects because we sold projects all over from Exantics down to entry level project geckos as well. But what
down
I will say,
literally a lady came through and was looking for just a pet.
Right.
And so we literally
catered to a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
There was a significant gap in the purchases as far as dollar amounts because I think we did just as many, if not more, entry level sales as we did bigger sales, but our customer was either fresh, brand spanking new, maybe have 1-2 geckos, buying a gecko, and then other vendors and breeders coming up and buying and furthering their projects. So the middle ground really wasn't touched too much.
No, I was kind of, it was interesting.
Right,
it was an interesting
high end and entry level.
And entry or pet level.
And all that goes to show again is we love the entry level because that's where people go down that rabbit hole. I'm sure there are first people watching this video right now that didn't know of us and came to the show and met us.
Yep.
And now they're tapped in, via World Wide Web. So that's what we're all about. The biggest complaint that I have about the show, the biggest complaint.
And I think far and above everybody had this same complaint.
It was hot.
It was hot as crap.
So again, it was the venue.
But yes, let's be clear. The fact of the matter is that I'm not a sweater. I don't really sweat like that. Like it takes a lot for me to sweat, and I definitely was sweating. I felt a little like some of that heat exhaustion set in, but the fact of the matter is that sometimes that can't be helped.
Right.
And I do know for a fact that Troy and Nick legitimately was arguing and had to deal with the venue all weekend trying to get them to just run the AC.
Right.
Ridiculous. Come on, guys.
It was insane. Being friends of theirs and having several conversations with them as they're busy and they're running around, I felt like, we were quite tapped in to what was going on. And with Troy, he has no poker face.
No, he
Troy
doesn't.
has no poker face. So when he's pissed, you could tell he's pissed.
I think Nick's pretty good at it.
Yeah, Nick's just like, hey, the world is my sponge. He's like, cool.
He is.
So he's kind of riding high and doing his thing.
He's always been real professional and such. I don't see him. I've never really seen him express real emotion at all.
So to get the gist of it, if you're watching these videos that we're putting out, typically you either enjoy, looking at or enjoy talking about reptiles, or you have crested geckos. So I would like to put it into the atmosphere that for a lot of the promotional side and promoters and vendors, you have to understand that the venues that we are going to often don't understand reptiles.
No.
Or reptiles or reptile sales or reptile
If you've seen our latest TikTok, Instagram reel, whatever, what have you, Will has our flag that says, flawless geckos or whatever, get your geckos. And he's holding it, this huge, obnoxiously huge flag. And I was like, fly your freak flag. Yeah. And we were all laughing, all of us there, a couple vendors that were still right around us when we were breaking down. Because that's the thing, going back to the venues, not really understanding and being afraid of reptiles in general, is that a lot of people out there, that come into contact with reptile people, they are like, oh, those are weird people, or they're freaks, or whatever.
And some of the arguments that we were, there, or I was there personally to understand and see and subjected to, didn't make any sense. And it had to be because it's a reptile show. Troy and Nick, mostly Troy at the time I was talking with him, you're arguing with the venue manager. Okay, you've paid all this money, whatever you're paid out to promote, you pay whatever you had to pay for the actual venue. Now you're having the event. You're arguing with the venue manager over ATMs. You're telling them as a promoter, hey guys, can you guys make sure that the ATMs are filled with money, call whoever services your ATM so that, you know, the customers that are coming in, they can get funds and do whatever they need to do. And they were reluctant to make sure that the ATMs were filled. You know, the promoters don't get any of that revenue or service fees from those ATMs. That all goes to the venue, and the venue, whoever owns the ATMs, or at least the ATMs at the venue. So that should be a non-negotiable. It's nothing to really argue over, because that adds more money to the venue side of things, not the promotion side. It just adds convenience for breeders and the promoters and everything.
Yeah, because the venue is the one that's getting the kickback off of the fees.
$4 and $5 service charge per transaction. Yeah, so it didn't make any sense. So I do want to put it out there. There's things that promoters, maybe themselves, they're not really doing a ton of these videos. So we want to be able to put it out there that they have to deal with, that's kind of sight unseen.
Not to mention, if you think about it, like making, you know, cash transactions, a lot of times is easier for the reptile community, because payment services like PayPal, for instance, they cannot stand pet or
go back and watch our videos. We've done so, you know, we have to deal with PayPal. We will continue to deal with PayPal, but you have to watch how you deal with PayPal, because they can really screw you. They can mess you up.
Not to mention, they also own Venmo at this point in time.
Yes, they do.
So if you know, you have to think in terms of, it's not just, oh, they're trying to do X, Y, and Z to just get cash, like, which is what I think the venue was kind of like trying to say. Just because here we are, we're reptile people or whatever, we must be weird, we must be doing something wrong because we like snakes or we like lizards or spiders or whatever, you know. And to be clear, I'm not a spider person, but anyway, that being said, but we're sitting over here trying to fight the battles of, you know, just like legit companies that allow you to, you know, move your money around. Like somebody would probably, most reptile people probably do want to deal in cash more often than not, because it absolutely cuts out those roadblocks that they could come upon with dealing with PayPal and such.
And all we're trying to point out, because all of these are businesses, whether it's the venue, whether it's these services like PayPal, all of these are still businesses. Therefore, though, at the same time, these businesses have managers and management and staff that frown upon reptiles or dislike reptiles, and just for the sake of that, they choose to either deal with them in a different manner or not deal with them at all, which is not kind of fair. But when you don't really have to be fair, that's what you're going to deal with. So the last part of it, we kind of, you know, deal with a lot of things. The glass is half full, glass is half empty. I'm going to throw something out there for you guys, because you know how we like to be positive and leave a positive imprint on the community. We don't care whether it's online, whether it's, you know, vending, you know, whatever it may be. This is what I would like you to look at as a vendor. Look at this analogy. And I haven't even talked to you about this analogy, but look at this analogy. If you're, we'll pick my favorite artist, Gucci Mane, the GOAT.
That's what we connected over there.
Right. So we picked Gucci Mane. He's my artist. You know, I don't go to concerts, but he's my artist. Gucci Mane too. And if he's, you know, he's well known, he's already got his promotion out there, he's already come up to the ranks, you know, I mean, he's filthy rich. Okay, cool. But yet he may do, you know, concerts, and he'll go to this venue, that venue, this venue, that venue. Every single one of his venues may have a promotional team, but he also has people hired, if he's not doing it himself, that's also putting out where he's going to be, where he's going to perform. Why does he do that if the venue is already doing that for him? Because he wants to reach the biggest crowd, the biggest community, everyone that's following him, to ensure that they will hopefully come see him once he reaches their region or their area. A lot of the time we've been shows, we have people come from hours and hours away to come say it. And so we try to dedicate a lot of time in having conversation. Tessa, she came out, we wanted to make sure, you know, shout out to her and go follow her. Give her a subscribe. You know, we have a lot of people just getting started off and trying to grow, but you need to spend time with these customers and potential customers or people who just watch you. There's a lot of kids that watch us and have their parents come out and drive them to come see us. So again, I say all that because if you have Gucci Mane, this big superstar,
and you can use anybody, Taylor Swift,
you know,
Justin Bieber,
you're still
whatever.
going to see, if it's not them, they hired, which means they paying someone out of their own pocket. Hint, hint, social media, marketing, advertisement, you know, and they're putting out where they will be, even when there's an actual event promoter that has nothing to do with that artist or that brand promoting for themselves. So I say all that to say, don't put all the pressure and responsibility on a promoter to necessarily bring in people for you and to close deals for you.
You must take some kind of personal responsibility and accountability for your own.
Because it's for everyone. It's not just for us. We have people, think about it. When we had these people come out to our booth, we spend a ton of time with them. We enjoy the conversation with them. Some of them aren't buying anything and they're just coming out for a photo op. We're fine with that as well. But when they spend money with us, when they get geckos from us and they're at these shows and we take pictures and video, guess what happens? They trickle off after they leave and then they go see other vendors. You see what I'm saying? They go see other vendors. They spend money with other vendors. They find interest in other vendors. They discover new vendors, you know, so you need to use whatever you have, social media posts, whatever. Tell people where you're going to be. And that doesn't mean just a week in advance, you know, lead up to these events.
And you got to think about it. You've got a whole group of people, even if you don't say, because you guys know we do Patreon, but even if you guys as businesses don't do Patreon yet or don't plan on doing something like that, if you've got some really dedicated, you know, basically like clients or even fans of like your brand, your vision, your mission, they love you. I mean, you really want to cater to those people and help those people grow and succeed. Like, for instance, Tassa, Sarah Jennings, she's Tassa Terrariums on YouTube. She's got her Instagram, her TikTok, all those things. Go follow her. She's such a sweet, kind-hearted person. And then you've got people like, for instance, at the show this weekend, you got John L. Gardner who came out. You've got Jennifer Fryer from with Great Balls of Fryer with the moose and the snakes.
Yeah, Sabrina
and Michael. But to specifically,
and also if you're looking for dogs,
not your ordinary kennels. Yep.
Which is, I mean, he's an OG because he remembers my son who was also there. That he's like, man, you don't remember? My son's like, no, I don't remember, because it was 4 years ago. And he was super excited, giving us hugs and handshakes and everything.
He grabbed up one of our red boys years ago. But what I was kind of getting to was like with our Patreon, the 3 Patreon members that we dealt with this weekend, you know, one of them had been looking for a Sarah Sonorum. Well, Donnell Garner, he deals in Sarah Sonorums, and it was a beautiful thing to. We don't deal in Sarah Sonorums,
but we were able to link those.
But we were able to link them together, and guess what? They were able to do business amongst each other, and that's the thing, you know. In everything that we go to do, it's kind of just being a segue off of if we bring people in because we went out there and we've done our marketing ourselves, we put ourselves out there on Instagram, we put ourselves out there on whatever social media wavelength that there is. Everyone can do that. Social media is a free advertising platform. I mean, you of course can boost your stuff, your ads and things like that. You can do definitely stuff like that, which helps. But if you already have a following, use that to put yourself out there, continue to put yourself out there, because what happens is you bring people to you and then you also bring everybody to the community as well. And
also you have to respect your business. We've done these videos before. Respect your business. Treat your business as a business. You're already vending. If you're already vending, why not tell somebody you're going to be there? Why sit there and put the outcome of your show 100% in the promotion side, the promoter's hands? That doesn't make any sense. So again, that is proactively trying to encourage, you know, us all to do better as a community, and
support each other.
It's pretty much each other, and
whole
we'll definitely level
vision.
up. Absolutely. But that's pretty much it. Overall, extreme success. We're gonna rest up because we have
Tinley in like what, 3 weeks?
3 weeks,
I guess.
That's right.
Woo,
so
that's a drive.
I mean, this end of the year roll, you're gonna see a ton of videos coming you guys' way. We're gonna be stepping it up again. No cruise control, all gas, all the time. It's Will. It's Audra. Flawless Crested Geckos. And we are out.
Bye.